Hi guys and welcome back. I have my philodendron birkin here, and if you've seen a couple videos ago, maybe one video ago, I don't know when it went out, but my philodendron birkin got spider mites while I was away on vacation, and I just haven't brought myself to actually take care of it yet. There doesn't seem to be any visible mites on it at the moment. I know there was some a couple weeks ago, but it's been like 4 weeks since I checked last, and it's just got lots of webs on it. They might just be like cobwebs, you know, just from not dusting and not doing anything like that. But I'm gonna tackle this today, and probably gonna like do the whole like routine that I usually do when the mites are really, really bad, just to take extra precaution. So yeah, this is gonna be fun. So I've quarantined him from my plants for the last like 4 weeks just to make sure that it's not spreading anywhere. And yeah, so he hasn't been like close to anything, and that's the like main precaution that I took before even taking care of it. And then today I'm gonna wipe down all of his leaves with like an insecticidal soap, because I found that that works best for me. I've tried neem oil as well, and neem oil just didn't seem to do the trick for me. I don't know if I probably wasn't using it completely correctly, but insecticidal soap seems to get it like first try, one and done type thing. Although I do like do follow-up treatments with it as well. And this is just the one that I use. Let me show you real quick. This is the one that I use. It's just the insecticidal super soap. I think it's Bonide is the brand. And then I just spray this on a paper towel and then use that to clean the leaves. And it, like I said, works pretty well. And I started cleaning all my leaves with this just as a routine instead of just using water. And it seems to be a pretty good preventative. So let's hop into that. So I've got my birkin on a table here, and I'm gonna lower the camera a bit so you can see like half of my face, but you can see most of the birkin. Or maybe I'll just scoot this back a bit. And like I said, it's not like, it doesn't look super sick or anything. But I'm just gonna wipe down the leaves just to be safe. And I mean, it needs a wipe down anyways. And I just use regular paper towel, tear off a bit, and then just spritz it with the insecticidal soap. And then I start from like the bottom to the top to like really make sure I get it in there. So I'm gonna show you a close-up of the leaves, just so, I mean, that's gonna be a bit more helpful for you anyways. And you wanna make sure you get all the stems as well, and not just the leaves themselves. And you want to get down on the bottom of the leaves too. And yeah, when you actually do like get some bugs as well, you'll see on your paper towel, and I can't show you it on the camera because it just doesn't translate as well, but you will see that there is some like orange residue on the paper towel, and that's probably most likely bugs. So if you see that, that means that you're getting them, and that is a good thing. And I mean, this goes without saying, but just make sure that when you're doing your routine wipe downs of plants, that you switch out your rag or paper towels that you're using in between plants, just because if one plant has spider mites and it hasn't traveled yet to the others, you don't want to spread them yourself by using the same rag for every single one, and potentially giving those bugs like a hike to the next plant, really. And honestly, this can get kind of tedious with plants going with like every single leaf and wiping it down and whatnot. But it is definitely worth it to not have like bugs on your plants. So definitely still suggest wiping down your plants like every week or so at least. It's a good habit to get into. And just make sure you're washing your hands in between cleanings, because like I said, it's not good if you're traveling around plant to plant and just taking all the bugs that you picked up with you. And then just make sure you're getting right where the stem hits the leaf, because that's where bugs love to live. If you can see on here, there's a couple of like yellow spots on there, not the variegation, but there's like some yellow spots, and you can see especially on the underside of the leaf, those spots, that's gonna be where bugs are eating your plant. So if you see spots like that, that's also a telltale sign that you have bugs, and that you should probably wipe down your plants or at least check on them. Just because obviously you want to get rid of them as soon as you can, and you don't want it to get too bad. And this is just, the insecticidal soap is just one method of getting these bugs, like, and you know, taking care of them that way. So many people use so many different methods. Like I said, neem oil is an option. Some people use a mixture of the two. Some people go all natural and just use, I don't know, like some sort of oils or something like that. I'm not super positive because I don't do that route. But it's just, like I said, I've been trialing a lot of things, and insecticidal soap seems to work the best for me so far. But once again, I just haven't tried all that many things. So it's not, this isn't the only way to do it, is basically what I'm saying. And there's so many other ways to do it. It just depends on what you like. So I definitely suggest going and checking out other people's videos and just trying out literally so many different methods to see what you like, because at the end of the day, not everybody's plant habits are the same, and what works for me might not work for you. It seems like a lot of the stuff I'm finding on these leaves is simply dust and not so much like plant or bug matter, whether that's like little dead bugs or whatever. Because what I'm picking up on these rags or paper towels does seem to be a lot of dust, which, I mean, of course, spider mites love that too. So it's not much better, but whatever. This is just one of those things. I probably should have treated it right when I noticed that there was webbing on there, because if it was gonna get worse, it would have already gotten worse, and it's just like, maybe I could have prevented it earlier. I don't know. I haven't been keeping up with my plant chores as much as I should, and I think we're all guilty of that every now and then, but it's all just been a bit crazy lately. And when you first notice that your plant has like bugs, whether it's spider mites or whatever kind of bug it is, I suggest doing like one of these treatments, whether it's neem oil, insecticidal soap, whatever, just treating it at least once a day, or at least once a week for a while, just to make sure you have the best chance at actually getting rid of the bugs. Because once every so often just doesn't cut it. And they could be back, and then if you put them next to your plants, it's gonna travel to the rest of your plants, and it's not good. It's better just to stay on top of it, which obviously, I didn't do for this round. So, I'm one to talk, but it's always better to stay on top of it. And whenever I start slacking is whenever I actually do end up getting bugs. So, like I said, I'm one to talk in it. I know this is so exciting watching a plant get wiped down, but at the end of the day, if you do break out like with a bunch of bugs on all your houseplants or a ton of your houseplants, honestly, just put on some music and get wiping, because it's not the end of the world. Plants, at the end of the day, as much as we love them, can be replaced. It's just a bit of a bummer because you work so hard to actually like care for them, and then it's just like you turn your head for 1 second and it's like a toddler. They get into something that they shouldn't, and then you have to like come and clean up the mess. Another thing to look out for, especially like just keep a special eye on for bugs on plants, is the new growth. They really love the new growth. And that's just where they're gonna be living if they are on your plants. Or, that's just their favorite places to congregate, is like the new growth area. So just make sure you keep a special eye on that, and make sure you wipe those down quite well too. Okay, so all the leaves are wiped down. Here we go. And I'm gonna, like I said, take the extra step, an extra precaution of removing all the soil, just because I know they've been there for a while, so they might be living in the soil as well. So I'm gonna take off all the soil and just hope it lands mostly in here. And then just put them in water, just to make sure that the plants don't have like a home to go to in terms of like living in the soil. They won't be able to live in the water because they'll just drown. So I'm going to take all the soil off, and kind of, it makes it easier to control also from my point of view, because since they can't live in water, it makes it so much easier for me. I'm also going to take off the bits that are like nearly dead, because they also like living on little dead bits on the plant too. So gonna remove all that. Just gonna remove anything that they can be using to survive, just to make sure I get the best chance at making my plant survive. So that's what we're doing now. And it looks like it probably could have used a repot anyways, but yeah, we're just gonna get rid of all the soil. I'm gonna rinse off the roots, and then I'm gonna put it in a cup of water basically. But honestly, you can totally skip this step and just go straight to either repotting it or not even messing with the roots or soil or whatever at all. Depending on how bad your case of spider mites is. This is just, I don't have time to deal with it if it is as bad as it might be. So it's just an extra precaution, and then I can just repot it whenever and I don't really have to worry about it. And it makes it easier to like water and rinse and all that sort of stuff. So that's why I'm choosing to do it this time around. But like I said, you definitely don't have to. I think if you're suspecting that they have like started living in the soil, definitely repot it. But you can repot it into some fresh soil. Just make sure you throw away the old soil because you don't want to use that again. It's got healthy roots, so I'm quite happy about that. So you just want to get off as much soil as you can. And there's actually 2 plants here, so I'm going to try to separate those out because these are too much roots to put into one vase. But get as much soil off as you can and then rinse the roots in some water. And if the soil is quite stubbornly on the roots, you can always soak it and then more soil will come off. And then that will be totally fine. Let me see if I can separate these 2 though. These are almost untangled. There's a big root ball down here at the bottom. Here we go. So lots of healthy roots on them, but just not quite healthy leaves because they've been eaten by spider mites. So there we go. We have 2 plants now. And I mean, if this survives and doesn't keep getting spider mites, then it's going to be 2 really cute plants. I'm going to go rinse off these leaves though, or the roots rather, real quick, and then put them in some water. I have to stay like right here unless like I want the sun to be right on my face. But now we have 2 plants that are potted up in water. Just used a random plastic glass and then a random jar that I saved. I'm sure we all are saving all the glass and plastic jars we can for propagation. So it's just a random like jam jar, I think. But these are just gonna live in water, and I do fill my propagations, because I count these as propagations now, but I do fill them with filtered water like I water my plants with. I've never tried with regular tap water, but it could just be fine with tap water as well. So that's not necessarily something that you need to do. It's just something that I do, so I thought I'd mention it. But yeah, hopefully that solves the problem. I will still, while they're in water, treat them like every day, every other day with the insecticidal soap, and then just rinse them when I change their water. So it should be all good now, and I hope they survive that. But thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope that this was helpful for you. Like I said, there's so many other methods to go about it, so definitely trial and error is the way that I learned how my plants best respond to like the treatments that I give them for spider mites. But I hope you can find something that works for you. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.